Hello, mathematicians. Today we're going to go over two strategies for addition, for finding sums. Remember, when we add two numbers together or multiple numbers together, if we're adding them together, the answer is called a sum, S-U-M. Today we're going to go over two different strategies for finding a sum. All right, the first strategy is called counting on. Counting on. And in this strategy, you are basically using your number line or your ruler to count up. So you could use that tool, or you could just do it on a piece of paper. Sometimes I like to do it with my mouth. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So let's say you were given the addition problem to find the sum of 8 plus 5. That means we start at 8, and let's say I'm on my number line. We start at 8, and we would count up 5 numbers. You could physically move starting at 8. Now 8's not part of your 5. Keep that in mind. Sometimes that's a mistake we make. 8 is not part of your 5 ups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where you would start. And because we're counting up or counting on, let me put an arrow pointing up to remind you, our numbers should get bigger, not smaller. So, if I went up or on 5 numbers, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The sum, or the answer to 8 plus 5 is 13. There is my number sentence, or equation. Remember that fancy word, equation, for number sentence? 8 plus 5 equals 13. All right. You should have your whiteboard marker and eraser, and Miss Ramsey forgot her eraser. So, guess what? I have to use my hand. My mom would yell at me and tell me that she didn't want me to get my hands dirty or my clothes dirty, but I forgot mine right now. I hope you have yours. All right, so let's try another. Counting up or counting on. Let's do 10 plus 4. Let's find the sum to 10 plus 4. So remember, I'm starting at 10, and then I'm going to go up or count on 4 jumps. And I would see where I stop. The answer to that is, where did we stop? The sum is 14. Now, I often tell kids I like to use my mouth. You can use your mouth when our numbers are still really low. So, to practice counting up, I physically want to go up 4 numbers from 10. So I have 10 in my mouth. I count on or up 4. 11, 12, 13, 14. I almost made my face a number line. But when the numbers get really big, we can't use this anymore. What if the number sentence or problem I was trying to solve was 52 plus 35? I can't do that anymore, can I? So, I have to start switching to a different strategy from using my physical fingers, don't I? I know we like our fingers when the numbers are small, but it won't work for us anymore when the numbers get big. So it's time to switch strategies. So using a number line to count up or count on is one of the strategies that we can use. All right, let's try one more. Please put on your whiteboard 12 plus 6. 12 plus 6. So if I'm drawing my number line, or I'm physically putting my finger on my number line or ruler, or on my 100s chart, you can even start your finger on your 100s chart. Where would I start? What are you putting on your whiteboard? 12. Then how many jumps would I need to take? Or how many hashes would I need to draw? I would need to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And then I would label 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And where do I stop when I am counting up or counting on this number line? 18. Does your whiteboard say 18? I hope so. Okay. Again, I wish I had my eraser. I did not follow directions to have my eraser ready. I would get in big trouble if my mom walked in and saw that I was doing this and not using an eraser. So that is the strategy of counting on or counting up. The next strategy we're going to look at is using facts you already know. So let's say I am adding 7 plus 6. Of course, you could use the counting on or counting up strategy, but in facts I already know or facts I know strategy, that says facts I know that 5 and 1 make 6. All right, and I know that 4 and 3 make 7. So does this make it easier for me? Let's see. Well, I know that 4 plus 1 is 5, so I used that one. And I know that 5, counting up 3, oh, see, I did counting up. 6, 7, 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then it would be 8 and 5. I am still going to use counting up, aren't I? 8 plus 5, starting at 8, counting up 5, puts me at 13. So I broke it down to facts I already know, and then I still used the counting on strategy to get to 13. That one was kind of tricky because that was kind of a big fact. I'm going to use the same fact, but I'm going to use it with different thinking. Okay? Because in math, you can think different ways. Facts I know. Well, if I don't know what 7 plus 6 is, pretend. I know we already answered it, but let's pretend. And I do know what 7 plus 7, the doubles fact, is. I know that 7 plus 7 is 14. And if 7 plus 6 is 1 less, what is 1 less than 14? So 14, 1 less, or 14 minus 1, 13. I hope that makes sense. You use a fact you already know to help you figure out a fact you don't know. All right, let's try one more. Miss Ramsey, you need an eraser? What about, let's see. I'm trying to think in my head right now. 11 plus 4. 11 plus 4. Well, I know that 10 and 1 makes 11. That's a fact I know. 10 and 1 makes 11. And if I add 4 to that, 4 and 1 is 5. So now I have 10 plus 5. That's an easier fact for me. 10 plus 5 more is 15. So I use the fact 10 and 1 makes 11 to help me break this down to numbers that would make it easier for me. So that is the strategy of using facts I know. All right. Today, you're going to be figuring out sums, S-U-M, addition problems. You're going to figure out the sum, figure out which numbers make a sum on page 29 in your student workbook. Let's do number 1 together. You are given 3 cards. Forgive my rectangles, they're not beautiful. Number 1, you're given a 5, a 3, and a 10. It then says the sum is 15. So they give you the answer. The sum is 15. What numbers do I need to add together in a number sentence to get me to the answer or to the sum of 15? I have a 5, a 3, and a 10. So on your whiteboard, you could use your whiteboard to help you figure this out. You could use our strategies from today, facts I know, or counting on or counting up to figure out which cards I need to circle to equal 15. Would it be 5 plus 3? Would it be 3 plus 10? Would it be 5 plus 10 or 10 plus 5? Order doesn't matter in addition. What 2 would I circle? I'm going to let you think about that for a second. If I start at 5 and I do 3 jumps plus 3, that only gets me to 8. So that's not going to work. So I know it's not 5 and 3 or 3 and 5. Order doesn't matter in addition. So let me try 10 plus 5. And the only reason I'm saying 10 plus 5 instead of 5 plus 10 is that it makes it a lot easier if I start with the bigger number in addition or subtraction. Subtraction, you have to start with the bigger number. But in addition, it makes it easier. So I'm going to start at 10 and do 5 jumps, label. And of course, if you had your number line or ruler there, you would already have it labeled for you, wouldn't you? So if I start at 10 and I count on or count up, 5, where do I stop? 15. So to get the sum of 15, the 2 numbers I would use here would be 10 and 5. So you would go ahead and circle those 2 cards on number 1 in your student workbook. You now have 7 more problems to figure out on your own, doing it using facts I know or counting up or counting on. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye, mathematicians.